The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see that there was nothing in the van. Hobbs must have taken the portfolio inside. I wouldn't have been able to break the chain, or the padlock. I decided to leave the handbrake alone. Slasha. The large dumpster was full of garbage. Piles of junk, mostly boxes of old paints and scraps of picture frames. Mixed in were wires, cardboard, and some dubious-looking old clothes. George Stobbart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobbart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave Paris.
Of course, Inspector.
Good. You clearly know which side your cookie is buttered. Now, I require your presence tomorrow at the murder scene for a reconstruction.
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur. Or, as you would say, high noon.
Sure.
Any failure to comply, and I shall have you extraordinarily rendered. Have a nice day now.
And you. That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery tomorrow for a crime scene reconstruction.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is a criminal offense?
You got it. Climbing drain pipes was something I preferred to avoid, unless I had a great reason to do so. It was Hobbs's mailbox. There was a note hanging out. I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
I'd pounded that door until my hand hurt. We were going to have to... For a second, The mailbox was empty. I decided to open the letter. Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to inform you that we will no longer be sending models to your address. It went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and other alleged infractions, some of which still carry the death sentence in certain less sophisticated cultures. Interesting. This could come in useful. Climbing drain pipes was something I preferred to avoid, unless I... There was definitely someone home. Nico?
What's up?
The lights are on, but nobody's answering.
Maybe they can't hear you knocking. We could try some other way of attracting their attention.
I didn't need... I wouldn't have been able... The nail clipper... I thought about trying to pick the lock with a paper clip, but that really only works in the movies. Nope, I needed to try. That was... I'd need the keys to start the engine. I had no reason, nor any desire, to steal Hobbs's van. If only I'd hung out with the cool kids at school, I'd have learned how to hotwire a truck. Not a sound. The horn wasn't... I decided to leave the handbrake alone. If only I'd hung out with the cool kids at school. I popped open the van's hood. The van's hood was already open. The engine was held together by rust and dirt. Everything was covered in a sticky film of dirty black oil. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither horn pipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. It was the van's engine. I didn't really have any reason to sabotage it. It was the van battery. I needed to hook this up to the horn somehow. That wouldn't work. That wasn't... That wouldn't work. It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. Two wires hung loose from it. A loose wire hung... If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the other horn. That would be pointless. That wouldn't make any sense. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. Many of the wires seemed to lead nowhere. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. A bundle of short, severed... None of the wires... A loose wire hung... That was almost a great idea. Almost. That was never going to happen. That would be pointless. That was almost a... That wouldn't make any sense. That was never going to work. That would be... I had found just what I needed. 2 lengths of wire. The engine. That was never going to happen. I used the wire to join the battery to the horn. I'd need the... I had no reason. Nope. I decided to leave the hand... The horn wasn't working. The horn wasn't... The van's hood was already open. I'd need the keys to start the engine. I had no reason. That... It was the van's engine. A bundle of wires. I used the wire to join. I snipped the wire and... The wire was... That was almost a great idea. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. Everything was wired up. The horn had power. I figured that should get Hobbs' attention.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Are you Wilf Hobbs, the renowned restorer?
I might be, and I might not. You never heard of a telephone? I'm busy. Now hop it.
Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
I decided to give it another blast.
For crying out loud, will you leave my van alone?
Sorry, just need a quick word, Mr. Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Yes, you will answer a few questions?
Yes, I do mind. Clear?
Not really.
Good. Now get lost.
This Hobbs guy...
There must be...
I decided to give it another blast.
You two again? What is it this time?
Hello there. We'd like to discuss some restoration work with you.
Then make an appointment. I'm busy.
This is crazy. We need to get in there and take a look around.
We need a good cover story.
Nico? So, Hobbs doesn't want to see us. It's like Detroit round here, and it's going to be dark soon. Shall we head back?
No! We need to convince Hobbs to let us in.
I decided to give it another blast.
What now?
Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up. About time you two showed up.
Hello, Mr. Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best belly pock floozy. That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio. A variety of liquor bottles, all empty. It didn't seem quite right.
Oi, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to take a look at some of your pictures. You're very good.
I know, and that portfolio is private. I'm not paying you to gawp around my studio. Get your blooming clothes off!
Sorry. I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring.
Hey! Leave that dial alone. The heating gobbles up all the power and the circuits can't take it.
Sorry. I turned the thermostat down again.
Oh, you! Get down from there, it's private.
Oh, sorry. I didn't need to sit. It was time for action.
Hey, I'm still drinking that.
How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Thanks, but I've already got a glassful.
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years. A record was spinning on the turntable. Hobbs seemed to have a thing for 70s psychedelic jams. I turned the volume up a few notches.
Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
I turned the volume up. I turned the volume up a few notches. Burns, Dick, Ray.
1 minute she's sweet as a light, next moment she's a fire and fight. Got me wondering,
Hobbs
is
seemed to
it
have a
day
thing
or
for
night?
70s.
Oh baby, yeah.
Hobbs seemed to have The record had stopped. It was Jasmine Breeze by the Hairy Lobsters. Hobbs seemed to have a thing for 70s psychedelic jams. Hobbs seemed to It was a shaky old elevator that would once have lifted goods between the floors.
My, if it isn't George Stobbart.
Lady Piermont! Oh my! You're...
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself en pelotas. Now, George, don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
That day was the day the nightmares had begun. Trapped, smothered, choking on the avenue.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oi, what are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was larger than life, in every way. How about a top up, Mr. Hobbs?
Don't mind if I do.
I'm sorry. I had no need to walk out onto the balcony.
Hey! I've told you, don't.
I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring. Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heating out in here.
I'll see what I can do. A wee dram to take the edge off the cold, Lady Piermont?
Oh, no, dear. I don't touch the stuff. Reminds me of husband number 5. Or was it 6? Terrible bore, anyway. I'm strictly a gin girl. Ice and a slice and a whiff of tonic.
Wary of any more life-changing surprises, I decided against exploring behind the screen. Hobbs seemed to... That was never gonna... I had no need to... I wouldn't have been able to... I'd already jerry-rigged the horn.
George, sweetheart, could you... George...
Excuse me, Mr. Hobbs.
Oh, what do you want? You're supposed to be sprawled naked on that rug with the family jewels out.
Yeah, well, about that. Could I just ask you a couple of questions first?
Blow me. A model who's shy and chatty. It must be my birthday.
Lady Piermont was wondering if you could turn the heating up. It's very cold in here.
Oh, is that so? Well, tell Her Majesty that the heating stays off. The wiring in this place can't take the load.
Yeah, about this naked...
Oh, what's up? Afraid of the shrinking effects of a cold warehouse?
No, it's just...
First time?
No!
Well then.
We had a saying. But I thought you were a restorer.
Well, don't worry.
I hear you did the restoration of that painting that got... Do you know a Russian called...
You know Madoff.
Everyone in the London art scene.
And everyone in the London art. Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
In which case, I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then, but be careful. The power in here is temperamental.
I turned the thermostat up as far as it would go. I wondered if the suspicious wiring could be used to my advantage. How about another whiskey?
That's smashing. Pour away.
I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring. I turned the volume down again. I turned the volume up a few notches. I turned the volume down again. I turned the volume up a few notches. Burns, Dick, Wayne.
On the road, cruising down a highway. So sweet, she got my head in a spin. Listen, babe, do you think you're gonna
A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
stop the car?
For you, George.
I wanna get in.
Can you keep a secret?
I am the very soul of discretion, as you know.
You see that portfolio by Hobbs's table? We need to take a peek.
Be still, my beating heart. Just give me the nod and I'm
So what have you...
charity.
Oh,
Young man.
do you know anything about...
Oh. My heart's a...
Maybe, but I need to...
Mum's the word.
How did you come to be working with Mr...
Where's... And what...
That's all for...
Oh, you. Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
Blowing the power would certainly have distracted Hobbs, but the elevator alone wasn't going to trip the whole system. It was locked. I wondered what was behind the door. That was never going to... I needed a better... I'd better not touch... I had no need to walk out onto the balcony. I didn't need to... I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring.
Oh, you. Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
The elevator on...
Oh, you.
The elevator on its own... A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George.
Lady Piermont, we need your help.
How thrilling. Oh, but... Is this good?
Perfect. Now was my chance. It was one of Hobbs' sketches. More of Hobbs' sketches. the model looked familiar. Impressionists. Well, it wasn't La Malediccio, but it did appear to be a study for an element of the painting, the Ouroboros. There was something different about the... I figured the sketch might come in handy.
What the heck are you doing with those? They're private.
Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were a private dick, George.
So, you're not models?
No, Miss...
Well, you can't be a copper. You're not stupid enough. So what the blazes are you doing in my...
We're investigating the...
I told you, I just restored it. That's what I do.
And these sketches?
Studies done during the restoration. I've got naught to do with what happened after that painting left. How was I to know it was going to get Henri?
Hang on a second. How do you know Henri's...
Look, he and I went back a long way. The Lézard Bleu was on the ropes, so I got the painting. Nothing like this was supposed to happen.
We're not accusing you of anything, Mr. Hobbs. We just want to get to the bottom of...
I get that, and I'll help you however I can. But this mess is way above my pay grade.
Why would anyone want to steal La Malediccio? It's not exactly a...
True, but there is something special about it. That there's conviction in every brushstroke. Whoever El Serp was, he had a tale to tell. The symbolism is...
Tell me about the symbols in La Malediccio.
very Christian, deeply religious.
The sort of thing that would upset a priest?
As I said, it's not exactly orthodox, and the church can be very touchy about it. Especially now they can't just burn anyone they disagree with.
We have reason to believe...
Eh?
We have strong...
He'll have... Mid-up.
Why?
Because they're not with him. Henri's got them. Oh.
And...
So ask his...
Lane?
Lane. Look, pal, you're wasting your time looking for and go get the Provident.
But it...
Not my problem. Now both...
And...
Someone's lying? But who?
Is it the gangster or the old Spaniard?
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medovsky's house? Will you give it to Nave?
I think I should. And I can put the squeeze on Lane. Ask him about the Providence.
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. This story is hotting up.
Taxi! Here I was again at the crime scene. Inside the gallery, I could see lots of activity. Nave preparing for the reconstruction, no doubt.